Boogie, drop that beat.
Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Talking Out Loud with Miss Talkative. Everything I say is my own opinion, alleged, and strictly entertainment purposes. Remember, I'm just talking out loud. Please like, share, subscribe. Comment on the video, let me know what you think. Y'all, last week I had to take a hiatus. I had to pull back from everything and everybody because life was actually lifing. But anyway, while I was on my hiatus, I was able to see some things that was going on social media, and it's not enough to keep myself up to date and be in the know, but some things I did see, and some channels I was able to watch, catch a glimpse of things that was going on. But I know one thing in particular that I was able to see was, and I'm gonna have to paraphrase it because I didn't capture it or copy it at the time that it was posted. I don't know. Like I said, my mind was someplace else, and in the middle of me trying to, refrain from what was going on or take a break from what was going on. Yes, I did. I would like scroll through Instagram and stuff like that. But anyway, one thing that I did actually see that I'm going to have to paraphrase is that Melody had put up a post, and it said something in reference to her having a prior engagement and being told that she had to work on the same day, and her having to film with someone that she had stated that she no longer chose to film with. And Melody didn't state no names, didn't state anything like that, anything specific, but I took it as Carlos King flexing his muscles, wanting to be, all of a sudden wanting to flex his executive producer muscles, telling Melody that she had to work even though she had a prior engagement, as if whatever scene they were filming, they could not hold off until she got back from her event, or they could have filmed around her. So I felt as though that he did it probably because Martell went crying to Carlos about him wanting to film with Melody, because he knew that he messed up so bad with the Tasha K interview, and it backfired on him. What he meant for it to do to Melody, it actually did for him. It was a boomerang effect, because Martell, he don't think, he just acts, and he feels, and he really thought that people were going to see Melody as the angry black woman, and actually it turned out, and it went in the opposite direction for him, and it did more harm to him and more good for her. And so I believe that he probably, because we all know that he's good for trying to mess with Melody behind the scenes, but then on camera he wants to come off as him trying to make amends, and him trying to wave the white flag, and him trying to get in her good graces, and so the public, or so the people can look at it and say, there she go being bitter again. So I believe that he probably did run to Carlos crying again, like, I want to just I want to film with her. And Carlos probably set it up because, or tried to set it up, because he knows that Love and Marriage Huntsville was built off of Melody's pain, what she went through with Martell, with the cast, and then the people just, just had so much empathy towards Melody, and the people just rallied around her, and she gained so much support from what she went through on this show, because the executive producer, Carlos King, the person that stated in the beginning to Melody that he would hold her hand and walk her through everything. And all she had to do was show her reality, be authentic, be transparent, and which she did all of that. So Melody held up her end of the bargain. But when it came to Carlos, he gonna give us some bull mess excuse at his live podcast with Melody, talking about he didn't know what she was going through. He didn't know that she needed help because he viewed her as a straight A student that don't need nobody and don't need no help. When in actual, everybody needs somebody at some point in time. And for him to say that he didn't know tells me that he went back on his word. As soon as his show started to take off, he didn't care or didn't give a damn about what Melody was going through. He didn't hold her hand as he said he was going to do. He did not walk her through anything. He let her go through the pits of hell by herself, and she had to bring herself out of that, and he was nowhere to be found. He was over there trying to support and praise Bravo so much, giving his full support to Bravo instead of his own shows. And I feel as though that's part of the reason that Carlos is always gunning for Melody, trying to allow the cast and everybody to try to go against Melody. And I believe Carlos likes it because with all of Melody accolades and Carlos, his accolades, even though he's been in the reality world for some time now, it's like the ones that he tried to executive produce on his own, they're not lasting. They're lackluster. I know he had the church people on reality show. I don't even know how long that lasted. I don't even think it lasted a whole season before it was canceled. And he had the Keisha Kayor and Gucci Mane wedding special, and you would have thought that after the wedding special that Carlos would have went on to do other ventures with Keisha Kayor and Gucci Mane, life, about their life, and had them a full-fledged reality show. But instead, because Carlos, it was alleged that Carlos took that idea or moved in on somebody else's territory with that special, that's why it didn't last. When it was alleged that he took Sheree's idea for her reality show, and that didn't even last. I don't even recall seeing the show, but it just goes to show you that everything that Carlos is trying to produce, executive producer, calling himself executive producer, it's not lasting because Carlos won't get out of his own way, because Carlos is putting all his support behind Bravo. No matter how much he dogged the shows out, called the fakeness out on their shows, he is talking about the cast, talking about how the shows need to be recast and who should go, who should stay. And Carlos, he speak about Bravo so much to the point where he wants to be Andy Cohen, to the point where he even had a show called, what was that show? I think it was Nightcap with Carlos King. I don't know if that show had got canceled or if Carlos just decided not to continue with the show, and because it was, I don't know how long it lasted, but right after that show went off air, Carlos was doing the same thing that we're doing, blogging, and even though he's still getting interviews and stuff like that, and he does have a nice size following, but with his nice size following, he's given all of his support to Bravo, to love and hip hop, to everything and everybody except for his people on his shows and to the on network who actually employs him. Carlos when he does his interviews, you don't see him having any type of commercials or any type of reference towards his show to direct his audience to look at his shows. The Nene Leakes interview, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that was his highest grossing interview for his podcast. And not one reference when you're watching the Nene Leakes interview, just like all the others. How many times did people see him say or run a commercial? Because we know he edit his own interviews, his own podcasts, or whatever, or whomever he does. He's an executive producer, so he knows how it works. But how many times did people see a commercial being ran in between the scenes where he was referring people to watch Love and Marriage Huntsville, watch Love and Marriage DC, Bell Collective, Love and Marriage Detroit? How many times? Not one time. He will get on there with Dustin and do a full recap or do some type of recap after each episode of the reunion airs. But in between, during the season, when he needs to be driving traffic to the OWN network to view his shows, he's not doing that. He's over there giving his support to everything and everybody else in everybody else's business, but not his own. And that's why he have to put all of his effort and put his team to support the Scotts and stuff, because he called himself trying to teach the Scotts about business and help them elevate, help Martell elevate. Where have these people gone in 6 seasons? The only thing Carlos has going for himself is that he has his reality shows, and he's a blogger, and he has good ratings on his podcast. Other than that, what does Carlos actually have going on? And I'm not trying to just stunt his accolades or anything like that, because he does a good enough job of that on his own. But what I am saying is that he's in no competition with Melody, and that's why he's trying to hold her back. Because what we've seen Melody do in these 6 seasons, having her own production company with her manager Don Michelle, her being in the beauty business and the hair care business, her being a motivational speaker, having her clothing business where, Marcel says she only sells t-shirts, but they're selling t-shirts for whatever they got going on, whatever business they're trying to promote. And even Carlos is trying to sell his merchandise, but it's only a problem or an issue when Melody is selling her God Said Go line, or her Masterclass with Melody line, or but like I say, she has so many accolades, and I believe that's why Carlos is rallying around Martell, because Melody is getting her she's doing her stuff on her own with her own team. And Carlos, even though he's trying to step in and help Martell rebrand his image and trying to help the Scotts get to a level of respect, it's not happening, because because the Scotts, until they can show their true reality, and Carlos actually face up to what is going on his shows, his actual shows, the Scotts are not going to progress, and they're never going to be respected in the eye of the public. And that's why I believe that Carlos will not review his own shows, because if he does, then it will come out, or he will have to admit that he knows what's going on on his shows, and he's a part of it. He's okay with it. It will make him actually be aware, and that's why he does not want to review his own shows, and that's why he can only get on there with Dustin after the reunions, after the show have wrapped, and he's only speaking about the reunions and allowing Dustin to do most of the talking, because Carlos knows exactly what's going on. He has not been able to put the Scotts on the map like he want to, even though they have his full support, and he's trying to help them every which way he can. And the only thing that they've done is be known for scamming people allegedly, and the lawsuits and stuff that they have. And now he have Stormy on his show that is going through the same thing, damn near the same thing that the Scotts are going through, lawsuit after lawsuit, getting ran in and out of court like it's a car wash or something. And with Martell, he's tried to help Martell in so many ways to rebrand his image and to give him a fresh start. But the only thing that is no matter how much he try to elevate or push Martell ahead, Martell is not getting ahead, because all of these people are in their own way thanks to Carlos, because Carlos is not the executive producer that he claimed to be. Instead of Carlos being the executive producer that he could be, Carlos is too busy trying to be Carlos is too busy trying to be his friend, be these people's friend, and he's too biased against the person that is actually giving him the true reality, which is Melody. Carlos has helped Martell so much, but what has and even with the help of Carlos, what has Martell accomplished? I mean, he's had 2 grand marshals, a magazine cover full of lies, and it's like he's made, Martell has made a fool out of himself by trying to date Sheree and trying to, and per Carlos trying to be on 2 reality shows, which actually, it just shows you that these people are not it, that Carlos is trying to push to the forefront. So I believe that, yes, Carlos tried to flex his muscle, his executive producer muscle with Melody, and try to take her from her event, because he wants to stunt her growth, because Carlos can't get out of his own way. And with Melody having all these accolades behind her name, it makes him look bad. It makes the rest of his cast look bad, because no matter how much he helped them, they still all collectively cannot compete against Melody. And that's just my opinion. I'm just talking out loud. Please like, share, subscribe, comment on the video. Let me know what you think.